Brought to you by Comfort Suites Hotels. Comfort Suites Hotels are now 100% smoke-free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelburg, Colorado, Ellisburg, Rexburg, Vicksburg, El Dorado, Larimore, Atmore, Haverstraw, Chattanooga, Chaska, Nebraska, Alaska.
Wherever you plan to stop, Comfort Suites will be there. So come in, spread out, and get some work done. Or not. This summer at Comfort Suites in these Choice Hotels, stay just 3 separate times and you'll get a free $50 gas card. For reservations, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there.
And now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, high 88, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm, low 67, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon, hot, high 92, chance of rain 30%. The week ahead.
Well, the tropics are spinning up more trouble for the U.S. coastlines. Tropical storm Dolly rolls over the Yucatan and now gets ready to gain strength in the Gulf of Mexico. Texans are now on alert.
While the pools will be packed in New York and other parts of the east, we'll show you how the temperatures may cool down over the next couple days. Still very hot, though, in some spots.
Hello and welcome to Day Planner. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Adam Berg. Now the big weather story in the U.S. Well, it's a storm that's still a few hundred miles away, but it is moving westbound. Here's a look at Dolly, which is now spinning in the Gulf of Mexico. It'll continue to shift to the northwest. Right now, winds sustained at 50 miles per hour. Took a little bit of a hit as it rolled over the Yucatan, but we do expect it to continue strengthening as it moves over some of those warm waters, plus the upper level winds are on the light side. So it should have a good chance here to strengthen. Nothing really to disturb Dolly, except maybe the western Gulf of Mexico here by about Wednesday into Thursday. The projected path taking it in that general direction, so we'll have to watch this very closely, I'd say, from the Louisiana-Texas border all the way down to parts of northern Mexico. Brownsville, a possibility. It's just one of those particular cities in that projected path as of right now. Of course, things can always change. You'll want to keep it locked into the Weather Channel for the very latest. Now let's throw it over to Vivian. We've got some active weather to track stateside.
Oh, yeah, Adam, let's talk more. Of course, Dolly is moving toward the lower 48, so we do have to worry about Dolly, and certainly we will continue to do that. As Adam mentioned, you want to keep it tuned to the Weather Channel for the very latest. We do have another tropical storm. This is Cristobal, of course, off the coast here of North Carolina. And then we have Hurricane Fausto out here in the eastern Pacific. Now, the good thing about Cristobal is that it's moving off to the north and the east, so we don't have to worry about this tropical system, and we don't have to worry about Fausto either because it is moving off to the west away from the lower 48. Other than that, though, we do have a surface frontal boundary that's draped across the northern tier here, and we've had some showers and storms associated with it. In fact, there is a severe thunderstorm watch effective until 7 o'clock local time, and now the Storm Prediction Center has issued another to include parts of Kentucky southward, and you can see why we have this whole area of very heavy rain and embedded storms working across Indiana into northwestern Ohio. Now, earlier we had reports of winds, get this, in excess of 90 miles an hour in Illinois as the storms rolled through. So this whole area is still very potent, if you will, with a threat of high winds and hailstones, and we'll definitely be here keeping you up to date with some heavier downpours as well. Here's another cluster that we're watching over the southern parts of Indiana right into western Kentucky, and these individual cells now look very, very ominous, and that is why the Storm Prediction Center issued this whole area now a new severe thunderstorm watch. These storms capable of producing large hailstones as well as those high winds and heavy downpours. So we'll continue to watch parts of the upper Midwest. Also here in the Northeast, we have showers and storms working across western and upstate New York, and we have a narrow line that's pushing across the west central parts of Massachusetts, another line offshore here, but we're watching these storms. They too are capable of producing those high winds and hailstones. In Boston, you're kind of in between two areas of storminess, this line offshore and this next one coming across the west central parts of Massachusetts. Last but not least, we'll take you here with an upper level low spinning over the Intermountain West in the Great Basin. Now, there are flash flood watches in effect here because some of this rain could fall at the rate of an inch an hour in some localized areas. So we'll keep tabs on all the storms. Now let's talk about the heat with Adam.
Yeah, that's the other big story here. Woo, it has been hot for days and days and days across parts of the Northeast. So these are the consecutive 90-degree days now, 5 in a row for New York City. When you think your average high right around 85 degrees, impressive, right? Warm stuff. Hopefully you've been hanging out at Jones Beach, maybe Montauk, your neighbor's pool, your pool, whatever way to keep a little cool here. Same thing for D.C., your average high 89. We've been in the 90s now for 5 straight days. Hartford, Connecticut, too, on the warm side with your average high 86 degrees. And the forecast calls for more trouble out here as far as the heat goes, although it will push a little bit farther to the south. So another warm one into Monday and Tuesday for most of these cities here. Once we work into Wednesday, well, that's when the cold front is south of us. We may even be struggling to hit about 80 degrees. So after this hot stretch, it'll be kind of nice for some of us to now be below average. Let's talk more about the forecast, but we're going to start off looking at the maximum temps over the last 24 hours or so. And you find a trend here, basically anywhere south of New England and the upper Midwest. That's where we're looking at south winds, a lot of sunshine, and temperatures well into the 90s. Look at that, St. Louis, 99 degrees. We have a lot of heat advisories as well through the Mississippi Valley. There's Philadelphia, 94. Boston, we had a lot of shower and thunderstorm action over the last 24 hours, so that kept our temperatures down just a little bit. When you look westbound, also hot around Salt Lake City. Portland slightly above average. Dallas, another 100-degree day. Just unbelievable how we continue with this stretch. How about San Antonio, 96. Boise was hot too, with temperatures right around 98 over the last 24 hours. Current numbers call for more heat. Look at all those 90s out there. And as we look at the forecast over the next few days, very hot again across the deep south.
Pollen data provided by the following.
Built on a sports car platform with a more fuel-efficient 390 horsepower engine, the all-new Infiniti FX, defining the performance crossover, redefining luxury.
Nice finger! A wart could get used to this. Liquid wart remover? That's all you got? That could take weeks to treat me.
Did it get cold? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away removes warts fast with as little as 1 treatment.
You'll miss me.
Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away.
If you had a mouse in your home, you'd trap it. If you had bugs, you'd trap them. Well, you have things like dust mite debris, bacteria, pollen, and mold spores circulating in the air in your home. A Filtrete high-performance filter traps 90% of them. An ordinary filter, just 20%. 90 versus 20. It's your home. Trap them. For cleaner air, change now to a Filtrete filter from 3M.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Shell. Shell gasoline, stop gunky buildup. Use Shell.
How far will we actually go to show that all gasolines are not the same?
As far as it takes. In this case, 5,000 miles.
We're not getting out, so we've proven Shell gasoline stops gunky buildup on critical engine parts that low-quality discount gasoline can leave behind.
Do you have... No. Go fish?
Look, Shell gasoline stop gunky buildup, helping your car to perform at its best. Ready for another 5,000 miles? Bring it on.
Start each new day with your weather today. Weekday mornings only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We do have, there we go, a couple of severe thunderstorm watches out there in yellow, outlined in yellow. 7 o'clock Eastern time for the one a little farther off to the north. Brand new one here in Kentucky now, and that goes until 8 o'clock Eastern time. Whenever you're under a severe thunderstorm watch, we're worried about large hail and damaging winds with some storms. So Columbus, Ohio, through Cleveland, through Cincinnati. Once the atmosphere gets a little more charged, we could be looking at a little trouble. Louisville, we're seeing some of this right now. So let's dive right into Louisville. Cluster of thunderstorms moving in here from the north and west. So traveling west or eastbound here could be a little tricky, Louisville. So southbound also looking a little rough. If you're traveling north, though, through Seymour, you're looking okay. But wait until these thunderstorms pass Louisville. We still have that risk for large hail and damaging wind. You can see a couple warnings, one just to the southeast of Louisville, the other just to the west. This is why I wouldn't recommend doing any traveling here for the next hour or so. Let some of these storms pass. What's all that orange off to our west? Well, these are heat advisories. It is certainly hot in our backyard right now, just helping to fuel some of these thunderstorms. So I know a lot of us are going to be out and about. Don't overdo it out here. Some of these thunderstorms may cool us off just a little bit across upstate New York. Interstate 81, the New York Thruway, could get a little tricky as we get a little more daytime heating. One of the other big stories, flash flood watches continue through much of our western states. Here's Nevada, here's Utah, right down to parts of California. It's the summer thunderstorm time of year, and that means some of these pop-up showers and thunderstorms can drop down some pretty heavy-duty rain. The moisture levels really go up this time of the year. Right now, though, a little early in the day, so not too much activity. Things will likely fire, though, a little bit later today. Let's show you a couple of forecasts. We're going to start off here in the west. This is how we're looking if you're traveling along Interstate 40 through parts of Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, really filling in here with the showers and thunderstorms. And this is, of course, as we push into Tuesday, just a lot like what we're going to be dealing with. Lots of showers and thunderstorms out here. Monday and Tuesday basically looking exactly the same. How about the big travel day for you Tuesday through Interstate 35? Well, improving here as a lot of that energy now pushes southbound. Interstate 70, though, could still be a little bit tricky. And the Northeast still quite busy with more showers and thunderstorms pushing on in as we work through the day. Interstate 95 still pretty warm even into Tuesday. Tuesday, though, through Wednesday, finally getting that cool down. We'll be right back.
Everyday emergencies happen. When it comes to keeping your family healthy and safe this season, the time to get prepared is now. Here are 3 easy steps to getting ready. Step number 1, get a supplies kit. When it comes to supplies, have enough on hand for each member of your household, including your pets, to last for at least 2 weeks. Include a first aid kit, needed medications, a flashlight, radio, non-perishable foods, water, and disinfecting bleach to treat your water if necessary. Keep your supplies in a sturdy but easy to carry container and store it somewhere that's safe and easy to access. Step number 2 is to make a plan. The best time to plan is now. Start with the basics. Pick 2 places to meet and ask an out-of-the-area friend to be your family contact. Practice your evacuation plan together twice a year and be sure to work as a team. Your plan will help each family member feel confident, calm, and safe. The third step, be informed. Know what types of disasters commonly occur where you live, work, and play. Be trained in first aid and CPR. Listen to local sources that provide weather updates and announcements. Being weather ready is an important part of being prepared. The keys to being prepared are planning ahead and keeping it simple so that it's easy for your family to remember and respond. Remember, a healthy home is a prepared home. For the Weather Channel, I'm Dr. Anna Murray.
For more weather-ready tips, go to weather.com/ready.
This program was brought to you by Clorox and the American Red Cross. Together, we are dedicated to a healthier world.
Because a bathroom can be more than just a bathroom. Clorox helps keep it clean. Even the imaginary parts. And try Clorox Toilet Wand. It disinfects and cleans better than ever before. And keep it all together in our designer caddy. Clorox Toilet Wand System.
Econolodge has a new look and free Wi-Fi. To find out what else is new at Econolodge, visit choicehotels.com.
All-natural, high-quality protein. The incredible edible egg.
You know where I am? The intersection of my inbox is out of control and I haven't had a day off since the 3rd grade. You could say I'm there.
State Farm makes it easy to get our Good Neighbor service and discounts on your terms. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
First thing I thought of was how upside down I was on my car loan. I'd still be making payments on a car I didn't have.
Lucky for Ron, he had LoJack. His car was returned. LoJack, the most successful theft recovery system on Earth.
Here at our remote test facility, we put the Nissan Altima through over 5,000 extreme tests to help ensure long-lasting quality and durability. Of course, you'd never treat yours that way, right?
Sorry.
The Nissan Altima, made to drive, built to last. Lease a new 2008 Nissan Altima for $199 a month for 36 months.
Hi everyone, welcome to Evening Edition.
Each night, Evening Edition puts the day's weather in focus.
It's already produced some baseball-sized hail, folks.
Locally,
North and east of the Denver area.
Regionally,
working its way southeast across the Chesapeake Bay.
Nationally.
From Los Angeles, south toward the Atlantic Ocean.
Building into the northeast.
For a clear view of your world tonight and the smartest way to prepare for tomorrow.
We're going to continue to watch these storms for you and give you updates as they come along.
Spend your night with Evening Edition. Weeknights, only on the Weather Channel.
It's Sleepy's half-price Simmons Beauty Rest mattress sale. Right now, get select Simmons Beauty Rest mattress sets for half off their regular price. Plus, get exceptional values at great everyday low prices, like Simmons sets starting at $199. Plus, you can get great prices on Simmons Beauty Rest sets starting at $299. So don't miss Sleepy's half-price Simmons Beauty Rest mattress sale, going on now.
Trust Sleepy's for the rest of your life.
Now, I know how to ask for a raise and get it. How to protect my kids online. 3 easy ways to live greener now. Thanks to ABC News Now, now I know. Health, politics, movies, money. It's the 24-hour network with good info for good living. ABC News Now. Good to know.
And now RCN is giving free access to all RCN Internet customers. You heard it, free. Just log on and start watching today. Don't have RCN Internet? Call 800-RING-RCN and sign up now.
Start each new day with your weather today. Weekday mornings only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. Our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back, gang. Let's talk about some active weather going on in our backyard. A couple of severe thunderstorm watches, a new one issued as well, just a little farther south of the one across Ohio. The one in Ohio, severe thunderstorm watch goes until 7 Eastern, 8 Eastern for the one now in Kentucky. Whenever you're under severe thunderstorm watch, large hail, damaging wind, that's what we're most concerned about. Right now, generally clear of storms for this northern watch, although right around Toledo along Interstate 80, some issues with some storms moving in from the west, so watch that. Cleveland as well, if you're traveling westbound, you may catch up to some of these storms. Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, with a little more daytime heating, things could pop here as well. That southern watch includes Louisville, goes until 8 o'clock Eastern, and we're actually seeing some pretty strong thunderstorms in our backyard right now, Louisville. So traveling east on 64, I wouldn't do that. This big bowling ball has been dropping some heavy rain on us, and traveling westbound as well. Not recommended with big storms here too. Even south on 65, I wouldn't recommend because these thunderstorms are dropping to the southeast. So Elizabethtown, within the next hour or so, we'll likely see some storms here too. So the warnings basically just off to our south. These thunderstorms continue moving in that direction. So please use extreme caution on the roadways here. Just a couple more stops. How about upstate New York? Some showers and thunderstorms drifting in from the west, so the New York Thruway could get a little tricky. Parts of 81 in and around Syracuse as well. And that's not the only game in town. We actually have some flood watches posted through much of the west for Nevada, good chunk of Utah. Once these summer thunderstorms really start cranking, it looks like we could be looking at some spotty flash flooding. But right now, the radar looking pretty smooth. Give it a couple hours to heat up, though, Vivian, and it looks like things will be changing for us. How about the next several days? How are things looking?
Well, let's see if there will be any big changes as we follow that frontal boundary. It'll sag a little bit to the south, and take a look at tomorrow. Well, those showers and storms will be widespread. Let's go to VIS 100, and we'll show you the overall picture for tomorrow's forecast. And again, you can see widespread unsettled weather with that surface front sagging off to the south here across the southern parts of Ohio, down into Tennessee, maybe even northern Mississippi and Alabama, again with that front just slowly pushing off to the south. Now, as we look at Wednesday, there's a better chance perhaps of some showers and storms over Georgia. Good news here. We'll keep our fingers crossed for some much needed additional rain for you. Also the upstate areas of the Carolinas. And then the next system coming out of the Rockies into the western high plains could create some showers and storms here. Then we'll find this system continuing to pivot off to the east on Thursday afternoon. So then we'll include the Minneapolis area, maybe even Des Moines and St. Louis for some showers and storms. And we're still in the green here over the northeast and along the mid-Atlantic. That means we still have the chances of showers and storms right on through Thursday afternoon. Now here's a look at the end of the week. We have green painted across much of the northeast and to New England, right along the immediate coast of the Carolinas. And of course, we'll find the moisture being pulled back here over the lower Mississippi River Valley. Much of the Pacific Northwest clearing out here on Saturday as we look at the entire weekend. Pretty good shape for Seattle and Portland down to San Francisco. And here's a look at Sunday. The lion's share of the precipitation we'll find over the eastern third of the country. Now let's quickly check on the temperatures because we do anticipate a bubble of hot air to really build here over the central and southern plains. Afternoon highs in the 90s and 100s. This is a look at the forecast tomorrow. Of course, with the clouds and the showers and even some stormy weather will hold the temperatures at bay with afternoon highs forecast generally in the low to middle 80s across the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, and maybe some pockets of 70s here and there. Here's a look at Wednesday's forecast highs, and as we take you into Thursday, again, notice these 100s here over the Red River Valley of Texas and Oklahoma. Here's a look at Friday's afternoon highs. Of course, it is summer season, so we expect the overwhelming consensus to be pretty hot, if you will, as we'll find 100s, even maybe up to 110 degrees here, where you see the pink shading in Southern California and southwestern Arizona, right on through Sunday afternoon. Adam?
All right, thanks a lot, Vivian. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with Dolly. You know, we've got a couple of tropical storms out there, so let's get right into it. You notice here on satellite, we've got something on our hands. There it is, 50 miles per hour sustained right now, still about 560 miles southeast of Brownsville, Texas. And this is as of 11 o'clock. Moving to the west-northwest, though, at 18 miles per hour. And that'll continue to take it towards the Mexican-Texas border here. There's the satellite image of Dolly now. A lot of bright colors are on the map. That just means the showers and thunderstorms are holding together. A little ragged right now. It did just recently cross the Yucatan. Here's the projected path, though. This is why we really have to watch it in Texas. Landfall could be anywhere from the Texas coastline through northern Mexico. There is definitely a little, bit of error built into this. You'll want to keep checking with us for the latest. Here's the bottom line right now. The center is now over the Gulf of Mexico. Dolly is expected to intensify as it moves towards the western Gulf of Mexico.
Well, stay with us. We'll have extensive coverage on Tropical Storm Dolly. That's coming up, so stay with us.
That's right. PM Edition, Dr. Lyons will be in.
With kids, teens, pets, and husbands, ever wonder how you can keep your house clean? Call today about our $99 special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Be prepared for weather-related emergencies, power outages, downpours, hurricanes, tornadoes, ice storms. Maglite flashlights are built to endure. With many models to choose from, there's a tough, dependable Maglite flashlight for every situation. Don't be left in the dark. Maglite flashlights, now with Mag LED technology.
Protesting is awesome. Yeah. Do you want to go to my apartment?
What?
What?
Need a moment?
I thought you were a believer. Someone who wanted to blog about their ideals.
I love blogging.
Chew it over with Twix.
Some nights, it takes more than a cup of tea or a good book to fall asleep. Nights when nothing seems to quiet the pain. Those are nights when you worry most about becoming dependent on sleep medicine. Tylenol PM Rapid Release Gels quiet the pain and help you fall asleep in a non-habit-forming way. Because at Tylenol, we know the less you worry, the better you sleep.
For mold and mildew and soap scum, Tilex Hardcore Clean.
Take this away from this, and you've got a bunch of this.
With price assurance only from Orbitz, if another customer books the same flight at a lower price, we'll automatically send you the difference in cash. Simple arithmetic. Orbitz style.
Nothing is more beautiful than potential. It's time to bring your ideas to life at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint store. Discover how coordinating colors and bringing your whole room together is easier than you ever imagined. You'll be amazed what happens when you ask. Save $7 a gallon on a wide variety of exceptional paints and stains.
Stephanie Abrams.
The First Coast, the Space Coast. I love all the different coasts. It's fun to learn those. All right, maybe I'm a geek.
Mike Bettis.
There's more than meets the eye to this satellite picture here in the Northeast.
Go beyond the forecast with Abrams and Bettis. Weeknights only on the Weather Channel. Start each new day with your weather today. Weekday mornings only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. Our week ahead.
Welcome back. Well, it's been a rough few days for sure for beachgoers along the East Coast. Tropical storm Cristobal kicking up some waves, dumping some heavy rain, especially through coastal North Carolina. Cristobal is getting a little bit stronger as it moves away from the coast, though, so thankfully not many land impacts for too much longer. And we're also watching the Gulf of Mexico as well. That's where Dolly is. And we'll have those details of where both systems are headed here in just a moment. But first, here's Vivian with a look at some of the thunderstorms stateside.
Okay, they have developed inland, mainly over parts of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. There are 2 severe thunderstorm watches that have been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. So let's kind of hone in on this area. First of all, the one over Ohio, it's effective until 7 o'clock local time. And the newest one here, or the newer one, is over the east to central parts of Kentucky, active until 8 o'clock local time. And you can see why we do have the storms rolling through the area. This cluster has moved across the southern peninsula of Michigan right on into northwestern Ohio. Now, earlier this morning, we had some 90-mile-an-hour winds reported near Moline in Illinois. Most of the storms have moved away from you, Illinois, but still very, very potent and unstable, the overall atmosphere here. Again, northwestern Ohio, look at these 2 clusters right here, very ominous looking, capable of producing high winds, at least winds of 60 miles an hour. And here, as these storms work out of Indiana into Ohio, Harrison County under a severe thunderstorm warning. The biggest threat so far, according to Doppler radar, perhaps those 60 60-mile-an-hour winds as they push off to the south and the east at about 20 miles an hour. Very dangerous here. Again, an ominous looking cluster of storms just south of the Louisville area between Louisville and Elizabethtown here. Very, very stormy. Again, the biggest threat, those very strong winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. Also, we've had some stormy weather develop over the central parts of New York between Rochester and Syracuse here. Ontario County under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, the possibility of those 60-mile-an-hour winds along with nickel-sized hailstones, perhaps with these storms. So it's becoming more stormy over the west to central parts of New York State. Not so much for you, New York City. You're under a heat advisory, and Adam will talk more about that in just a moment. But look at this cluster of storms working across the west central parts of Massachusetts, a little west of the Boston area. They are looking pretty ominous here too as they move off toward the south and the east. And then we have this area of storminess mainly offshore as they continue to move off to the north and east as well. Let's hop to the west though, because we're finding some showers right now, but before all said and done, some heavier rain can fall in some localized areas, perhaps at the rate of an inch an hour. So flood watches have been issued for parts of Nevada as well as Utah. So here is the big picture, the way it stands right now. Let's talk more about Dolly though with Adam.
Yeah, we've got lots to talk about. Dolly, we've got Cristobal, lots of action to get to here. So we're going to start things off a little bit farther to the south this time. This is Tropical Storm Dolly. You can see some of the brighter colors on our satellite. This is infrared satellite. And of course, the brighter colors, that means higher cloud tops, some of the squallier weather right now. Kind of ragged though. You notice there's not a well-defined eye. Just recently pushed over the Yucatan Peninsula. Not good for the health of a system. But now that it's back over the relatively calm, warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, we do expect Dolly to continue to strengthen. How about a few more stats here with Dolly? By the way, winds sustained at 50 miles per hour. Where's it going next, though? That's the big question, right? Anybody with interests across the western half of the Gulf of Mexico, keep tuning in. Things can always change a bit, but in general, we think anywhere from the Texas coastline down towards northern Mexico, a possibility here. We're not saying Brownsville for sure, just letting you know that you are within our projected path sometime Wednesday morning through Wednesday afternoon time horizon for this one. And we do expect Dolly to strengthen as well. So we'd have to worry a little bit more about just the rip currents out there, like wind damage, potential surge. A lot of potentials, though, so you'll want to keep it dialed in here to the Weather Channel for the very latest. We'll be talking about this constantly. Tropical Storm Cristobal continues to move off to the northeast. Brought some very heavy rain, though, to parts of North Carolina. That is for sure. Things should continue to calm down, though. The seas should subside a bit, especially across North Carolina as we go through the next day or so. It continues moving eastbound. Here is that projected path, in fact. You notice it stays relatively close to the coastline, so still some rough seas, I would say, at least through Tuesday for much of the northeast. Once we get into late Tuesday, Wednesday, and beyond, though, it looks like Cristobal should be far enough away that, you know, getting back to the beaches should be a little smoother. But by then, it looks like a cold front could be bringing some showers and thunderstorms, too. So lots to worry about here as well. Let's talk about some of those beaches. Now, of course, if you're going to be in the northeast, Atlantic City, a ridiculously hot day on Tuesday, but with Cristobal relatively close, we could still be looking at some choppy seas. Just keep that in mind. And then a little bit cooler Wednesday. That's when the cold front moves in, and much of the northeast will be cooling down a little bit. How about Hilton Head, South Carolina? Well, it's safe now to head back to the water. But the showers and thunderstorms will really start kicking in by Wednesday. That same cold front pushing all the way southbound, bringing us some thunderstorms too. How about the West Coast? Well, extremely sunny, very nice. If you like temperatures right around 70. Vivian, it looks like Monterey is the place for you.
Well, stay with us. Your local on the 8th, that's straight ahead. Then we'll take a closer look at the extreme heat millions of people are dealing with today. How hot will it get for you?
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion creeps tonight. With advantage, the fleas don't bite him, the lion feels alright.
Advantage provides gentle, effective flea protection that works fast. Now get 1 month free. Ask your veterinarian for a free tube today and keep your pets
free.
There are things going on in your house you may not know about. Did you know that up to 75% of the surfaces in your home can be soft surfaces that hold on to odors, then release them back into the room? So even though you clean, your home still may not feel as fresh as it could.
But with Febreze Fabric Refresher, you can eliminate odors at the source. Febreze finds odors trapped in fabrics, cleans them away, and leaves a fresh scent. Make Febreze part of your routine to keep your whole house feeling fresh air clean every day. It's a breath of fresh air.
Nice finger. A wart could get used to this. Liquid wart remover. That's all you got? That could take weeks to treat me.
Did it get cold? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away removes warts fast with as little as one treatment.
You'll miss me.
Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away.
This place is great.
Oh, see what I see? Oh. Yeah, we're gonna send her a plate of bacon.
Bacon? Oh, it's a little too aggressive. Let's send her a cheese omelet.
No, an English muffin. It's more proper.
What about a hot cinnamon roll?
Cinnamon roll? Well, that's something you send your sister. I'm gonna send her some bacon. Really?
Compliments of those guys. Oh, yogurt.
Check out the new hot bar in town, the Holiday Inn Express Hot Breakfast Bar.
See, you guys don't know anything about women.
Is there a future meteorologist in your house? Send us a video of your kid doing the weather, and they could be showcased at weather.com. And your junior forecaster could win you a trip for 4 to visit the Weather Channel's new HD studio. Go to weather.com/kidcast for details.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Filtrete Filters. For the air you breathe, Filtrete Filters from 3M.
If you had a mouse in your home, you'd trap it. If you had bugs, you'd trap them. Well, you have things like dust mite debris, bacteria, pollen, and mold spores circulating in the air in your home. A Filtrete high-performance filter traps 90% of them. An ordinary filter, just 20%. 90 versus 20. It's your home. Trap them. For cleaner air, change now to a Filtrete filter from 3M.
For the air you breathe, Filtrete Filters from 3M.
Spend your night with Evening Edition. Weeknights on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. The week ahead.
Welcome back, folks. All right, we're going to start things off here with some of the watches that we have in effect here. And yeah, heat advisories, folks, in this orange coloring on the map, just to the west of Louisville, extremely hot through western Kentucky, much of southern Illinois, Indiana, right down here through Memphis and Beale Street looking hot, northern Mississippi through northern Alabama. Also some heat advisories in and around Savannah, and if you squint really hard, some heat advisories as well right around New York City. And then on top of that, we're going to be tracking a few frisky thunderstorms too. Louisville looking at some thunderstorm warnings right now as well through parts of upstate New York. But yeah, heat, a serious issue. Good chunk of the Northeast has been under excessive heat warnings and heat advisories for days and days. How about the forecast? All right, as we look through Monday, You still notice some yellows here pushing into parts of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. That means above average numbers. Another hot one today across the northern Rockies. The cool spots, though, if you're looking for some relief from the heat, maybe head to the southwest, but you'll also be fighting some showers and thunderstorms here. And also with a front finally pushing southbound, some blues showing up through the Great Lakes and New England. So things are cooling off just a little bit. That's Monday. Then into Tuesday, we get one more little surge of heat through the Mid-Atlantic, southern New England. That's ahead of that cold front again. That'll continue to push southbound. So this will likely be the last really hot day for us across the Northeast for the next week or so. Some of these blues continuing to work southbound, but that means still very warm, above average numbers from the Mid-Atlantic right back through the Tennessee Valley, including Atlanta. The northern Rockies, northern plains also, again, a little on the warm side. Then we go into Wednesday, and now finally, no more yellow across the Mid-Atlantic or Northeast. Things have really cooled down here. In fact, you notice some of this darker blue. It's going to be temperatures as cool as about 10 degrees below average, so a little on the chilly side compared to average through parts of the southwest. But you notice the trend here, right? Replacing a lot of that heat, and remember, we had those heat advisories as well through a good chunk of the Mississippi Valley. Pretty much all those above average numbers, Vivian, go all the way down here, and maybe even a couple of crisp mornings behind this cold front. Back to you.
Thank you. Have you ever wondered why some destructive storms are called hurricanes while others are typhoons and others are cyclones? Well, is the answer in just a name? Well, here's the answer in this Hurricane Minute.
Is a hurricane different than a typhoon? Actually, the only thing that's different is the name.
We have the name hurricane in the Atlantic Basin, and that basically comes from the god of evil winds from the Caribbean terminology, Aeropan, and we use that same name in the Eastern Pacific as well. In the Western Pacific, they're called typhoons. It's the same phenomenon, and that name actually has been traced back to Greek times.
The term tropical cyclone, on the other hand, encompasses both hurricanes and typhoons.
Meteorologists, they came up with the idea that, well, let's make a generic term that any low-pressure system that spins around a low-pressure center that originates in the tropics or subtropics we'll call a tropical cyclone.
And in the area of Australia and in the Indian Ocean, only the name tropical cyclone is used.
How does summer weather affect your car? Higher temperatures speed up a vehicle's wear and tear. Fluids and lubricants break down more quickly, so your car will need summer upkeep. The basics, like checking fluids, hoses, belts, and brakes, may be common knowledge. But did you know if your car overheats, turn on your car's heater? The hot air will be pulled from the engine. Do you prefer open windows or AC? It makes a difference in gas mileage. The extra fuel trade-off is better aerodynamics. The hot summer sun that makes your car feel like a sauna also wastes fuel from your gas tank. Loose, missing, or damaged caps cause 147 million gallons of gas to evaporate each year. An improperly inflated tire can overheat and lead to a blowout. Summer's higher temperatures cause a tire's air pressure to rise. Plan ahead. Be prepared. For more driving safety tips, go to weather.com/ready.
This program was brought to you by Hyundai, exclusive sponsor of Weather Ready Driving Safety.
There's never been a better time to do something completely sensible with your money. Hurry in to Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event and get up to $2,000 cash back on Hyundai's fuel-efficient sedans with up to 33 miles per gallon, like the 2009 Sonata, for thousands less than the Toyota Camry or Honda Accord. Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event. So many ways to save some money on a new car. So little time to save. Right now, get a Hyundai sedan for up to $2,000 cash back.
Your internet listing guru. Your web address to your next address. Your sign, it will be sold. Your Century 21 agent. Now more than ever, your path home. Century21.com.
All-natural, high-quality protein. The incredible edible egg.
Armadillo, mankind needs you.
Mankind can wait. This superhero is building his own Capital One credit card.
I want airline miles, a low interest rate, and a heroic picture of my family.
Surprise!
Guacamole. Personalize your card at Capital One Card Lab. Choose your rewards, interest rate, even upload your own image at CapitalOne.com.
Honey.
What's in your wallet?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Each night, Evening Edition puts the day's weather in focus.
It's already produced baseball-sized hail, folks.
Locally.
North and east of the Denver area.
Regionally.
Working its way southeast across the Chesapeake Bay.
Nationally.
From Los Angeles south toward the Atlantic Ocean.
Building into the northeast.
For a clear view of your world tonight and the smartest way to prepare for tomorrow.
We're going to continue to watch these storms for you and give you updates as they come along.
Spend your night with Evening Edition. Weeknights, only on the Weather Channel.
Shopping for a car? I can think of better ways to spend my time. Sale after sale, 0% this, money off that, standards, options. All I want is a new car, so spare me the sales tactics. When I walk into your dealership, I want your help, not your pressure. I want you to listen and actually care about what I'm saying. Sure, I may not know much about cars, but what I do know is that I deserve the same respect as someone who does. That's why Key Pontiac Buick GMC is my dealer.
Understanding our customers, that's the key.
And weather changed history. Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on the Weather Channel. And now, your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm Adam Burke. Welcome back. Hey, busy times across the tropics right now. We're going to start things off, though, with a look at the entire Atlantic Ocean. Here's Africa. More thunderstorm action coming off of Africa. That's how Bertha was born here as it moved off Africa, what seems like a couple of weeks ago now. Pushed all the way across and then whoop, right up through Iceland now. That's where Bertha is. So Bertha finally gone, but we have Cristobal, we have Dolly here in the Gulf of Mexico, plus a couple of systems in the Eastern Pacific as well. Lots to get to. Here's Cristobal. You can see there's a ball of convection or thunderstorms. That's basically what convection is. So still hanging on. Once a system continues to produce thunderstorms over open water in a relatively organized fashion like this, well, then we know that this system's not done yet. In fact, 65 miles per hour as Cristobal continues to move away from the North Carolina coast. And that's good news for all of us wanting to get back to the ocean, right? But just keep one thing in mind as Cristobal continues moving off towards the northeast, relatively close to the Cape as we push right into Tuesday morning. So seas could still be a little rough here. Rip currents running just a little on the high side. You want to be careful out there. So Cristobal moves away. Something else, though, moving closer to the lower 48 right now. Here's Mexico. Here's Cancun, the Yucatan Peninsula. Here's Cozumel. A lot of really fun little beach destinations. A lot of tourists head here Showers and thunderstorms pushing through this region. You know, it made landfall last night, pushed across the Yucatan, now back into the Gulf of Mexico. Why is that significant? Well, this is when tropical systems tend to re-strengthen, as long as the conditions are favorable for that, and they are. And what makes conditions favorable? Light winds in the upper levels, so nothing really getting in the way here. The system allowed to breathe a little bit. So we do expect Dolly to strengthen a bit. Right now, sustained winds at about 50 miles per hour. And already some hurricane advisories. Hurricane watches posted for much of southern Texas through the northern Mexico border. And whenever you're under hurricane watches, that means hurricane force winds possible within about 36 hours. So still quite a bit of real estate here that we have to work with. So we'll have to watch this one very closely. But hey, in the short term, though, anyone from the Texas coastline all the way through northern Mexico, you need to keep watching us here. This could be a little interesting as we continue to go through time. Here is that projected path, and just by showing you those hurricane watches, you know where this is projected to go, right? Right into that area. Brownsville, a possibility. We're not saying that this is a definite strike here, but it's just one of the particular cities within our projected path. Really going to want to start watching this by about the middle of the week. By Wednesday morning, in fact, it could be bearing down on the coastline. So we'll have to watch a lot of that. How about the Eastern Pacific? We've got some action here as well. There's Fausto continuing to move off to the west. More action here south of Acapulco. Then a few more clusters of thunderstorms here pushing off the El Salvador coastline. Here's Fausto, winds at 80 miles per hour. Continues to move off to the west-northwest at about 15 miles per hour. So this is good news for any of us vacationing here through Cabo San Lucas and Manzanillo, even though we're not looking at showers and thunderstorms here. Some pretty nasty rip currents over the last few days. So we're going to be glad to see Fausto continuing to move westbound here. If you're plotting 20.4 north, 116.8 west. Then, of course, another depression a little farther off to the south. But hey, yes, we have Dr. Steve Lyons. He'll be coming in tonight beginning at 5:50 p.m. Eastern Time. That's PM edition, to help us out with tropical updates and give his expert analysis. And the bottom line, though, with Dolly, that's the next big thing we have to look for, is that it's in the Gulf of Mexico, and we really have to watch the Texas coastline quite closely. All right, Vivian, any more action going on?
Well, yeah, we're watching severe thunderstorms. A couple of severe thunderstorm watches have been issued for parts of the Ohio Valley and the Midwest here. Let's get a little bit closer and show you these, because the one over Ohio, this is effective until 7 local time. This one until 8, and you can see the storms raking across the northwestern parts of Ohio. In fact, Sandusky County under a severe thunderstorm warning. Storms here capable of producing penny-sized hailstones and winds greater than 60 miles an hour. These storms are moving pretty much due east at 30 miles an hour, this particular thunderstorm cell. So be on the lookout here. It's well to the west of the Cleveland area, but if you're in Sandusky County, again, watch out for hailstones as well as very, very high winds. Also, we have severe weather over Kentucky. Now here, there are severe thunderstorm warnings for Hardin, LaRue, Nelson counties with winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. These storms moving off to the southeast at about 35. So watch out here, crossing right out of Indiana into Kentucky. We'll keep you posted for the rest of the afternoon.
Because a bathroom can be more than just a bathroom. Clorox helps keep it clean, even the imaginary parts.
It's all in the spray. New Bullfrog Marathon Mist Continuous Spray. Up to 8 hours of powerful waterproof sun protection that goes on faster and lighter than ever. Ultimate strength meets ultimate speed.
Bullfrog!
New Bullfrog Marathon Mist.
Love your stomach? Of course you do. It's your core, so you try to do right by it. But when you can't and heartburn happens, no problem. There's new maximum strength Pepcid Easy Chews, the perfect way to show your stomach some love. Twice the strength of original Pepcid AC, this new Easy Chew stops heartburn before it starts or rescues you after it's begun. Show your love. New maximum strength Pepcid Easy Chews. Hates your heartburn, loves your stomach.
Here at our remote test facility, we put the Nissan Altima through over 5,000 extreme tests to help ensure long-lasting quality and durability through whatever the world throws at it. The Nissan Altima, made to drive, built to last. Lease a new 2008 Nissan Altima for $199 a month for 36 months.
Lower price, higher price. Which one would you prefer? With price assurance only for Morbitz, if another customer books the same flight at a lower price, we'll automatically send you the difference in cash. Simple arithmetic. Orbitz style.
Stephanie Abrams.
The First Coast, the Space Coast. I love all the different coasts. It's fun to learn those. All right, maybe I'm a geek.
Mike Bettis.
There's more than meets the eye to this satellite picture here in the Northeast.
Go beyond the forecast with Abrams and Bettis. Weeknights only on the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station or newspaper.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Comfort Suites Hotels. Comfort Suites Hotels are now 100% smoke-free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelburg, Colorado, Ellersburg, Rexburg, Vicksburg, Eldorado, Larimore, Atmore, Haverstraw, Chattanooga, Chastity, Nebraska, Alaska.
Wherever you plan to stop, Comfort Suites will be there. So come in, spread out, and get some work done. Or not. This summer at Comfort Suites in these Choice Hotels, stay just 3 separate times and you'll get a free $50 gas card. For reservations, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there.
Start each new day with your weather today. Weekday mornings only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. A mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. Our 7-day outlook.
Comfort Suites Hotels are now 100% smoke-free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelburg, Colorado, Ellersburg, Rexburg, Vicksburg, Eldorado, Larimore, Atmore, Haverstraw, Chattanooga, Chastity, Nebraska, Alaska.
Wherever you plan to stop, Comfort Suites will be there. So come in, spread out, and get some work done. Or not. This summer at Comfort Suites in these Choice Hotels, stay just 3 separate times and you'll get a free $50 gas card. For reservations, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there.
Start each new day with your weather today. Weekday mornings only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. The week ahead.
The tropics spin up more trouble for U.S. coastlines. Tropical storm Dolly rolls over the Yucatan and now gets ready to gain strength in the Gulf of Mexico. Texans are now on alert.
And while the pools will stay packed in New York and other parts of the east, we'll show you how high the temperatures will hit over the next couple of days.
Hi there, welcome to Weather Center. I'm Betty Davis.
And I'm Samantha Moore, and the big weather story in the U.S. is a storm that's now a few hundred miles away. In fact, it's in the Gulf of Mexico now, and it looks like this one could have a great impact, especially on South Texas as we head into the next couple of days. So this is Tropical Storm Dolly, now moving to the west-northwest at 18 miles per hour with max sustained winds at 50 miles per hour, and conditions are really ripe within the Gulf for Dolly to develop and to strengthen over the next couple of days. Now, the current projected path puts Dolly in between parts of the southeastern part of Texas, stretching down towards Brownsville and points beyond into northeastern Mexico. And we do expect to see it make landfall sometime late Wednesday. At least that looks like the timing at this point. Now, we do have some hurricane watches to tell you about, and they affect every point from Port O'Connor, Texas, southward through Brownsville into Rio San Fernando, Mexico. So this means that we do anticipate hurricane conditions within the next 48 hours, and we also have some tropical storm warnings to show you as well, or watches I should say, to north of Point O'Connor onto San Luis Pass in Texas, and also from La Pesca, Mexico to Rio San Fernando, Mexico. And also we're concerned about the points of the Yucatan, although it looks like things are going to be improving as far as Yucatan is concerned. Okay, Betty, we're going to head on over to you to find out what is the latest with severe today.
All right, let's first start with the view of the entire U.S. We do have some places where severe thunderstorm watches are in effect, but along the Gulf Coast, the heating of the day means more showers and more storms, and having Dolly emerging out over the Gulf means we'll start to see more in the way of moisture pushing in for some of you too here along the Gulf Coast, along the coast of Texas and Louisiana as well. Right now, the bulk of the showers and storms out over the waters, but as we move in, say southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, finding a few showers and storms popping up there with the heating of the day. Things are really getting active though around Ohio into Kentucky. This is where we've got severe thunderstorm watches, and within these boxes some stronger storms that have been on the move here. Right now, not a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings with any of these storms, but definitely a few out there. That's the case as we look in here around Kentucky with this batch of storms moving off toward the east-southeast, if you will. So some of these storms capable of producing some damaging winds to about 60. In addition to that, also watching out for maybe some hail and some downpours, torrential at that, with any of these storms coming in where you are. So the worst of it at this point, south of Elizabethtown, looks like Somerset, you'll be getting set to get in on more of this too as we go over the next several minutes. All right, here's the view around Cleveland, around Toledo. Not too terrible for you here. If you can stand a few showers dotting the way, that's exactly what we're seeing. Around the Detroit metro, here too, seeing a few storms lining up, not necessarily severe. We have, though, seen some of these storms go severe moving across New York State. So we'll watch for the occasional production of hail and strong winds to come with any of these storms. Here's the New York State Thruway, and just our luck here. If you've got travel along this thruway, it looks like the storms are more or less setting up south of here or north of here. So for that stretch of interstate, maybe not so bad for your afternoon commute. Here's the Northeast. We'll watch Boston pretty closely as some of these storms may drift in on over the city. Certainly on that north side, already starting to see some of these storms fire within your metro. And outside of that, we watch Cristobal. Remember that one, our tropical storm here? Lucky for us, it continues to pull away from the coast here. So any rains or winds associated with that well out over the waters. Let's get you the forecast here for the entire U.S. for the rest of tonight. The places we'll watch for some of those stronger storms lining up right here through the lower lakes. And then as we head toward tomorrow, we'll see more of those storms firing here. Ohio River Valley, Tennessee River Valley, some scattered strong storms potentially for you, and then more of those storms popping up with the heating of the day through the Intermountain West. All right, we've got the storms, and boy, do we have the heat, some poor air quality in some places too. Heat advisories from Memphis to St. Louis. Here's Samantha.
Yeah, we are talking about the heat, and the heat is on. In fact, we have heat advisories in place for much of the Northeast. There you go. We're talking 92 right now in New York City as we head on into the evening hours. It's going to start to break a little bit, but boy, it is just oppressive across much of the Northeast because those dew points are well into the 60s as well in the New York City area. There's a spot north of Charleston right now that has a heat index of around 104 degrees. Temperatures along I-95 west of Beaufort right now close to 100 with 99 degrees coming in right now with plenty of sunshine. The heat is on as well throughout much of the Tennessee Valley. We have right now in Memphis a heat index of 113 degrees. So in addition to all this, across the eastern part of the nation, it's very humid. So we're going to continue those concerns about temperature. We'll be right back.
Lower price, higher price. Which one would you prefer? With price assurance only for Morbitz, if another customer books the same flight at a lower price, we'll automatically send you the difference in cash. Simple arithmetic, Morbitz style.
If you had a mouse in your home, you'd trap it. If you had bugs, you'd trap them. Well, you have things like dust mite debris, bacteria, pollen, and mold spores circulating in the air in your home. A Filtrete high-performance filter traps 90% of them. An ordinary filter, just 20%. 90 versus 20. It's your home. Trap them. For cleaner air, change now to a Filtrete filter from 3M.
Nice finger. A wart could get used to this. Liquid wart remover. That's all you got? That could take weeks to treat me.
Did it get cold? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away removes warts fast with as little as one treatment.
You'll miss me.
Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away.
Some nights, it takes more than a cup of tea or a good book to fall asleep. Nights when nothing seems to quiet the pain. Those are nights when you worry most about becoming dependent on sleep medicine. Tylenol PM Rapid Release Gels quiet the pain and help you fall asleep in a non-habit-forming way. Because at Tylenol, we know the less you worry, the better you sleep.
You know where I am? The intersection of my inbox is out of control and I haven't had a day off since the 3rd grade. You could say I'm there.
State Farm makes it easy to get our Good Neighbor service and discounts on your terms. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com.
Now more than ever, you want to get the most for your money. Look no further than the rugged V6 2008 Kia Sportage. Fuel efficient, 5-star safety rated, backed by an industry-leading warranty, and it's priced about $6,000 less than a Toyota RAV4 Limited. Or to put it another way, a whole year's worth of groceries less. The Kia Model Year-End event. It's money well saved. Now get 0% APR or up to $3,000 cash back on the 2008 Sportage.
Start each new day with your weather today. Weekday mornings only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Our local Doppler radar. today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Okay, time now to take to the skies or the roadways, do a little traveling on this Monday afternoon. And boy, we have some action to show you throughout parts of the Ohio Valley with severe thunderstorm watch boxes up, and they've been in place for much of the day. The one in Ohio starting to become more compact as the day wears on, and the threat lessens from the west side of this anyway. But we'll still have to watch like Columbus, Mansfield, on up into Cleveland, Ashtabula for any thunderstorms that may pop. We do have a warning to the south. It's actually to the east of Bowling Green right now, south of Lexington and Richmond. And you can see we do have this one area west of Somerset. If you live in this area, take cover. This storm is moving to the southeast at around 15 miles per hour. And we're going to continue to see this quick southeastern movement as we head into the early evening. Here's what's happening throughout the Great Lakes. We do have some thunderstorms rumbling into Detroit right now. Be careful traveling along I-94. And then upstate New York, seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity this morning, and it looks like points east of there as well. We're going to have to watch as those thunderstorms move on in, and just a smattering of some showers right now in the southwest. Not that active as of yet, but we add a little daytime heating and we'll see more in the way of activity. Let's go ahead and check out the airports and show you the delays we're seeing. Boston, one of those spots due to weather, now has about an hour delay, as we're putting around an hour's delay. And at LaGuardia, it's down to 25 minutes now. It was at about an hour and a half just a short time ago. So that's a volume problem, and things are improving. If you're traveling along I-10 throughout Texas as you head into your Tuesday, there are going to be those thunderstorms, so you want to plan that into your trip. It's going to take a little longer to get to where you need to go because we expect to see some very heavy downpours associated with some of these thunderstorms. As you make your way down I-95, if you have a Florida vacation perhaps, you'll likely run into some thunderstorms as well, especially as you head through Savannah into Daytona Beach and then make your way through points southward into Miami. So we'll keep an eye out for that for you as well. As far as what's happening in the Northeast, things will be still a little unsettled as we head into our Tuesday with a chance of thunderstorms. As you head through Boston and through Providence, it should start to clear out. Partly cloudy skies, New York City as well. You should get a dry break as you head through the afternoon hours. Same thing in Philadelphia as well. But we'll have to keep our eyes peeled as that next frontal system moves in and returns the chance of rain. More right after this.
Everyday emergencies happen. When it comes to keeping your family healthy and safe this season, the time to get prepared is now. Here are 3 easy steps to getting ready. Step number 1, get a supplies kit. When it comes to supplies, have enough on hand for each member of your household, including your pets, to last for at least 2 weeks. Include a first aid kit, needed medications, a flashlight, radio, non-perishable foods, water, and disinfecting bleach to treat your water if necessary. Keep your supplies in a sturdy but easy to carry container and store it somewhere that's safe and easy to access. Step number 2 is to make a plan. The best time to plan is now. Start with the basics. Pick 2 places to meet and ask an out-of-the-area friend to be your family contact. Practice your evacuation plan together twice a year and be sure to work as a team. Your plan will help each family member feel confident, calm, and safe. The third step, be informed. Know what types of disasters commonly occur where you live, work, and play. Be trained in first aid and CPR. Listen to local sources that provide weather updates and announcements. Being weather ready is an important part of being prepared. The keys to being prepared are planning ahead and keeping it simple so that it's easy for your family to remember and respond. Remember, a healthy home is a prepared home. For the Weather Channel, I'm Dr. Anna Marie.
For more weather ready tips, go to weather.com/ready.
This program was brought to you by Clorox and the American Red Cross. Together, we are dedicated to a healthier world.
okay to let messes happen. Because Clorox disinfecting wipes are thicker and stronger, so they cut through stubborn, sticky, even baked-on messes. Clorox disinfecting wipes, also available in lavender scent.
Good night, buddy.
Good morning, Dad.
Oreo. Milk's favorite cookie.
Now more than ever, you want to get the most for your money. Look no further than the 2008 midsize Kia Optima. 31 mpg, 5-star safety rated, backed by an industry-leading warranty, and it's priced about $3,000 less than a Toyota Camry SE. Or to put it another way, 3 years worth of electric bills less. The Kia Model Year-End Event. It's money well saved. Now get 0% APR or up to $3,000 cash back on the 2008 Optima.
How far will we actually go to show that all gasolines are not the same?
As far as it takes. In this case, 5,000 miles.
We're not getting out till we've proven Shell gasoline stops gunky buildup on critical engine parts that low-quality discount gasoline can leave behind.
Do you have... No. Go fish?
Look, Shell gasoline stop gunky buildup, helping your car to perform at its best. Ready for another 5,000 miles?
Bring it on.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Each night, Evening Edition puts the day's weather in focus.
It's already produced some baseball-sized hail, folks.
Locally.
North and east of the Denver area.
Regionally.
Working its way southeast across the Chesapeake Bay.
Nationally.
From Los Angeles south toward the Atlantic Ocean.
Building into the northeast.
For a clear view of your world tonight and the smartest way to prepare for tomorrow.
We're going to continue to watch these storms for you and give you updates as they come along.
Spend your night with Evening Edition. Weeknights, only on the Weather Channel.
Since man first discovered the laws of mathematics, one fact has remained constant. 4 is greater than 2. That's why Becker Subaru only sells vehicles with the 4-wheel competence of symmetrical all-wheel drive, including over 100 priced between $16,949 and $19,999. That's the lowest guaranteed price and includes the Becker Owner Benefits Program. Don't settle for 2 wheels when all-wheel drive is less at Becker Subaru on Route 222 in West Coastville.
Start each new day with your weather today. Weekday mornings only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 87 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. Our 7-day outlook.
Good Monday afternoon to all of you out there. It looks like things are getting pretty active throughout parts of the Ohio Valley. In fact, we have a couple of severe thunderstorm watches to tell you about for the Ohio Valley currently in effect right now. And you can see we've had some pretty impressive thunderstorms, especially on the southern end of this. Currently, we have the northernmost box that's in effect until 7 o'clock through much of Ohio. Right now, we're watching kind of a nasty line of thunderstorms work its way into Sterling Heights on the north side of Detroit right now. Some particularly strong downpours associated with these thunderstorms. And as far as on the south side of this, we're definitely seeing some strong thunderstorms working their way into Somerset. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect where this particular cell is moving to the southeast at about 15 miles per hour. And things getting active across much of upstate New York as well. Now here's Betty with the rest of the week.
All right, let's get you through the next 7 days. Moving toward Tuesday, of course, we'll be following a front on the move, and that's going to mean some thunderstorms here as we look in around the lower lake. So we'll be following storms. Some of these could be a bit on the strong side, so maybe some severe weather for you. Damaging wind and hail will be the bigger threat. We'll watch for some nice downpours as well. That's going to stretch from St. Louis right on over toward Indianapolis as we look in around, say, Cincinnati, Ohio, near Columbus, Ohio as well. Looking down through the Ohio River Valley. That's where we will watch for more of those storms to come through. And then along the Gulf Coast, of course, the big story here is our tropical storm Dolly, a strengthening Dolly, and the role it plays in the forecast here for those of you, especially along the Texas coast as we head through Tuesday. So certainly you'll see that increase in moisture here along the Texas coast. So prepare for that. And then on Wednesday, we'll be talking about a storm we're anticipating a landfall with here somewhere around northern Mexico and along that Texas coast. Either way you look at it, do expect some of that tropical moisture with Dolly to come in around Texas. So be prepared for that on Wednesday. A scattering of showers and thunderstorms too through the south, because in addition to Dolly coming in, we'll be tracking that front. Behind that front, some drier air coming in around, say, Chicago. So maybe the best day for you to head out to that sidewalk cell at Daly's Plaza. Not a bad looking day for that. Here's the view on Thursday. More of that drier air seeping on down through the Tennessee River Valley, northern Georgia, northern Alabama, stormy along the east coast on Thursday. Then Friday, we clear things out around the mid-Atlantic. Just a few leftover storms there into the northeast. We should be scaling back on the heat as well. Then Saturday, more thunderstorms here for the east. In fact, we increased that moisture mid-Mississippi River Valley, lower Mississippi River Valley, southeast, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast as we move through the weekend. So yet another front at play here. Behind the front, there's our drier air along and ahead of the front. That's where we see that best chance for those thunderstorms as we push through the weekend. Temperatures, what about those numbers? Can we scale back the 90s here through the mid-Atlantic? Sure we can. By the time we hit Wednesday, we'll see those highs into the 70s and the 80s, 70s in fact. Pretty much a good bit of those showing up here from the upper Midwest, stretching over toward the Northeast as we head through Thursday. 90s in the forecast here through the desert Southwest. 80s and 100s here, 90s even here on Friday. So we will be spiking up the heat for some of you through the west. Look at those 100s showing up there through the desert Southwest. Rounding out our weekend as such, 70s and 80s from the Great Lakes into the Northeast. 80s and 90s though, as we look in the Mid-South and the Deep South. Pushing toward our Sunday, there are your 70s and 80s maintained here across the northern half until you hit, say, parts of the Intermountain West where we see those 80s and 90s still hanging on for us here. So that's a look at the next 7 days. Let's get you up to speed on the tropics. Here's Samantha.
Well, it is time to get the latest on Tropical Storm Dolly. It is headed for the coast of Mexico as well as the coast of South Texas. And here are the latest stats on Dolly. Now 50-mile-per-hour max sustained winds as it works its way to the northwest right now. And we do have some hurricane watches in place for parts of South Texas and northeastern Mexico. In fact, that whole area in between Port O'Connor, Texas and Rio San Fernando, Mexico is one we really need to keep our our eye on as we head into the next 36 to 46 hours. Because this means that hurricane conditions are likely by the time we get to Wednesday. So this is what we're expecting to see. There is the projected path, and you can see how expansive Dolly is, really filling up the Gulf right now. And this is the swath where we expect Dolly to go the next 2 days. And here's the bottom line on Dolly. Center is now over the Gulf and is expected to intensify as it moves toward the western Gulf Coast with strengthening tropical storm. And also, we're going to stay tuned for Dr. Steve Lyons. He's going to be coming up, and during a PM edition at 5:50, he'll have his first report.
And you do not want to miss that, the latest on where we think Dolly will go and who could very well be slammed the hardest from this one. Much more ahead.
Econolodge has a new look and free Wi-Fi. To find out what else is new at Econolodge, visit choicehotels.com.
Love your stomach? Of course you do. It's your core, so you try to do right by it. But when you can't and heartburn happens, no problem. There's new maximum strength Pepcid Easy Chews, the perfect way to show your stomach some love. Twice the strength of original Pepcid AC, this new Easy Chew stops heartburn before it starts or rescues you after it's begun. Show your love. New maximum strength Pepcid Easy Chews. Hates your heartburn, loves your stomach.
I'm a princess and princesses don't get sick. Germs are about this big, maybe bigger. Oh, I don't know. How do you catch a cold?
You can't expect kids to know everything about staying healthy. That's why Clorox has a line of disinfecting products to get rid of germs that can make kids sick. When their world is cleaner, their lives are healthier.
Hey, Mr. Opportunity here, and I've got some really good economic news for you. It's Honda clearance time, the perfect time to get your hands on a brand new Honda. Why Honda? Well, because they last a long time and have better residual value than other cars. True. Look at that legal down below. And that means you can keep more of your money. I live for this stuff. The 2008 Honda clearance. For plenty of ways to keep more of your money, go to shophonda.com. I'm Mr. Opportunity, and I approve this message.
Is there a future meteorologist at your house? Send us a video of your kid doing the weather. They could be showcased at weather.com. Your junior forecaster could win you a trip for 4 to visit the Weather Channel's new HD studio. Go to weather.com/KidCast for details.
Closed captioning hours on the Weather Channel brought to you by Flexitol Heel Balm for rough, dry, and cracked feet.
Are you tired of hiding your feet? Use Flexitol Heel Balm for rough, dry, and cracked feet. Visible results in 3 days. Flexitol Heel Balm. It works.
The Weather Channel, your hurricane authority. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Our local Doppler radar. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot, high 91. Chance of rain 30%. Our week ahead.
Well, it has been a rough few days for beachgoers along the East Coast. Tropical storm Cristobal has kicked up the waves and dumped some heavy amounts of rain in some areas. Cristobal's getting stronger but is moving away from our coast. So now our attention moves to Tropical Storm Dolly, which is moving into the Gulf of Mexico. And we'll have details on where it's headed in just a few minutes. But first, here's Betty with a look at how severe some of these thunderstorms are.
Well, let's get you the very latest on those storms as we first show you what's happening with Dolly, though. Let's show you where this one is going to be headed, that projected path here as we move over the next 36 to 48 hours here, expecting things to go downhill along that northern coast of Mexico toward this lower coast of Texas. So by sometime Wednesday, we expect this to begin that move and to make that landfall. So we do have hurricane watches to tell you about. These have been posted here for portions of the South Texas coast here from Port O'Connor down toward Rio San Fernando, Mexico. So this means within 36 hours, hurricane conditions are certainly a possibility. So be prepared for that, for the rain and for the wind that's going to be associated with this one. Also some tropical storm watches going for us here as we look in around, say, Port O'Connor, Texas, northward to San Luis Pass, Texas. That's where our hurricane watches are for the Texas coast. Tropical storm watches are for the Texas coast. We've got a lot more ahead on Dolly and everything else being cooked up in the tropics. But first, let's talk about what's cooking across the lower 48. Some of these storms we're following. A scattering of those here across the Gulf Coast, not too terribly active as it stands right now for the coast of Texas, but we do think that's going to be changing here as we head over the next several hours as that center of Dolly has basically moved over into the Gulf of Mexico. You can see our storms popping up here, though, across the southeast. You get the heating of the day and you get scenes like this, scenes like we're seeing here around Albany, Georgia, with these storms coming into play. Some of these around, say, Columbia, South Carolina are actually severe, so capable of producing damaging wind and hail there. Severe thunderstorm watches being trimmed back here through Ohio and Kentucky. Nonetheless, this cluster here in central Kentucky right now looking pretty mean as these storms drop off toward the southeast. So sure, we'll have to watch for hail and damaging wind with all of this action, not to mention the downpours at play here as well. All right, here we go around Cleveland, around Toledo, around Detroit. A few storms here, especially on that north side of Detroit, that northwest side, and storms still finding plenty of those as we look south of the New York State Thruway. So some of those storms, lightning coming in around Ithaca, Binghamton, not too far off from having some of these storms cross your territory. There's your view of the Northeast, scattering of showers and storms here, Boston on that northwest side. Following these cells, it seems like most afternoons we managed to get some of these storms moving in around Boston and cutting a path through central Massachusetts. As we check the forecast, though, get you on into the rest of tonight, into tomorrow as well. We will have more storms firing as we'll be tracking a boundary dropping through, say, the lower lakes or dropping south of the lower lakes. Let's get to that forecast, though, for tonight. Here we go, following the area of red for Monday night. So some of the cities included in that threat: St. Louis, on over toward Indianapolis. There we go around Cincinnati, around Columbus too, northern Kentucky, watching out for some of those stronger storms and then those general thunderstorms through the northeast and across the south as well. Four Corners, can't leave you out. You'll be seeing more of those storms pop up today, more of the same tomorrow, and then places like St. Louis to Atlanta, more storms in the forecast for you as we'll continue to follow a boundary dropping south. That's the very latest look at your forecast. Let's get more details on the heat, Samantha.
Oh yeah, and the tropics are really heating up, and here is The latest on Dolly with those max-sustained winds, 50 miles per hour entering the Gulf of Mexico, and the conditions are favorable there for Tropical Storm Dolly to strengthen. And already Dolly pretty expansive. You can see how much coverage there is as far as across the Gulf. So we'll continue to update you on Dolly's progress throughout the afternoon and evening hours. Cristobal also made news over the course of the weekend, and you can see right now, right over the Gulf Stream, those waters are warmer, of course, so it has actually helped Cristobal strengthen a little bit. Now max sustained winds at 65 miles per hour, but moving away from land. That is the projected path as we head into the next 2 days, which will take it out over cooler water as well, away from land. We're not even really concerned about elevated wave heights or rip currents at this point, so improving conditions for the East Coast. We don't have much being caused by Cristobal here, just one band of rain just south of the Cape and some heavier downpours there, but this rain, of course, unrelated to Tropical Storm Cristobal. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this could affect beaches. Well, the waves are going to be fine. The temperatures are up at Cape Cod near 80 degrees, so I think a lot of folks will be heading to the beach, even though it is a Monday. A lot of kids are out of school. A lot of folks will be flocking to the beaches as well. At Hatteras, North Carolina, no problem in the water other than the usual strong waves and undertow, so be careful out there. Chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday. Betty?
Your local on the 8s is on the way. Then we'll take a closer look at the extreme heat so many people are dealing with. Find out how hot it is where you are and if it's going to get hotter.
Now you can slow down and grill with new Kingsford Hickory Charcoal.
Nice finger! A wart could get used to this. Liquid wart remover? That's all you got? That could take weeks to treat me.
Did it get cold? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away removes warts fast with as little as one treatment.
You'll miss me.
Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away.
Built on a sports car platform with a more fuel-efficient 390 horsepower engine, the all-new Infiniti FX, defining the performance crossover, redefining luxury.
We started with a simple almond, added pecans, peanuts, and a hint of sweetness. The result, an extraordinary nut snack. True North.
The Weather Channel is tracking Dolly as it draws ever closer to the Texas coast and intensifies. For updated forecasts and expert analysis, stay with the Weather Channel for continuing coverage.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Filtrete Filters. For the air you breathe, Filtrete Filters from 3M.
If you had a mouse in your home, you'd trap it. If you had bugs, you'd trap them. Well, you have things like dust mite debris, bacteria, pollen, and mold spores circulating in the air in your home. A Filtrete high-performance filter traps 90% of them. An ordinary filter, just 20%. 90 versus 20. It's your home. Trap them. For cleaner air, change now to a Filtrete filter from 3M.
For the air you breathe, Filtrete Filters from 3M.
Spend your night with Evening Edition. Weeknights on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 88 degrees under fair skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. A mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot. High 91. Chance of rain 30%. The week ahead.
Okay, it is heating up across much of the country. New York City currently sunny skies and 90 degrees, and factor in the relative humidity, it feels even warmer. For instance, in Charleston, it's in the mid-90s right now, but just to the west, it feels like 104 degrees near I-95, and the actual temperature along I-95 is 100. So you factor in those excessive temperatures and the humidity, and boy, it just feels just miserable out there, just sweltering. And then throughout parts of the Tennessee Valley, the heat is on as well, in the upper 90s right now. Huntsville, Alabama at 98, and in Memphis, it feels like 111 degrees. So across the eastern U.S., the heat is definitely on throughout all of these locations, including parts of the Northeast. But that's going to be changing as we see some relief headed in your direction as this trough develops. The next couple of days, it's going to allow a little cooler air to funnel on in, and so slowly those temperatures will back off a lot closer to average for this time of year. We are even going to be talking upper 70s in New York City by the time we get to the middle of the week. So let's go ahead and take a look at your forecast and show you specifically what you can expect to see the next few days. The Midwest should already be feeling slightly cooler temperatures as we head into our Tuesday. We're talking 76 in Chicago. As we head into our Wednesday, temperatures stay pretty comfortable, mainly the upper 70s to the low 80s. So not too bad at all as we head through our Thursday regarding the temperatures. Then in the Northeast, we start to see those temperatures dampen a bit as well as we head into our Tuesday. Temperatures come down a couple of degrees. That continues to be the trend on our Wednesdays. That frontal system moves in, bringing that chance of rain and definitely backing those temperatures off just a bit. Betty?
Why is one destructive storm called a hurricane, another a typhoon, or even tropical cyclone? Is it all in the name? The answer in this Hurricane Minute.
Is a hurricane different than a typhoon? Actually, the only thing that's different is the name.
We have the name hurricane in the Atlantic Basin, and that basically comes from the god of evil winds from the Caribbean terminology, Aeropan, and we use that same name in the Eastern Pacific as well. In the Western Pacific, they're called typhoons. It's the same phenomenon, and that name actually has been traced back to Greek times.
The term tropical cyclone, on the other hand, encompasses both hurricanes and typhoons.
Meteorologists, they came up with the idea that, well, let's make a generic term that any low-pressure system that spins around a low-pressure center that originates in the tropics or subtropics we'll call a tropical cyclone.
And in the area of Australia and in the Indian Ocean, only the name tropical cyclone is used.
Well, no matter where you live, gas prices are high, but you may be wasting gas and don't even know it. We have more tips for drivers and a summer travel checklist. It's all in today's Weather Ready report.
How does summer weather affect your car? Higher temperatures speed up a vehicle's wear and tear. Fluids and lubricants break down more quickly, so your car will need summer upkeep. The basics, like checking fluids, hoses, belts, and brakes, may be common knowledge. But did you know if your car overheats, turn on your car's heater? The hot air will be pulled from the engine. Do you prefer open windows or AC? It makes a difference in gas mileage. The extra fuel trade-off is better aerodynamics. The hot summer sun that makes your car feel like a sauna also wastes fuel from your gas tank. Loose, missing, or damaged caps cause 147 million gallons of gas to evaporate each year. An improperly inflated tire can overheat and lead to a blowout. Summer's higher temperatures cause a tire's air pressure to rise. Plan ahead. Be prepared. For more driving safety tips, go to weather.com/ready.
This program was brought to you by Hyundai, exclusive sponsor of Weather Ready Driving Safety.
Now's a great time to do something smart with your money, like spend less of it at Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event. Hurry in and get up to $3,500 cash back on Hyundai's fuel-efficient Veracruz, Santa Fe, and Tucson with up to 25 miles per gallon. The Santa Fe was named one of the 10 most fuel-efficient three-row SUVs, and is thousands less than the Ford Edge. Come see why great fuel economy and America's best warranty make Hyundai the smartest choice of the summer. Right now, get a 2008 Santa Fe with up to $3,500 cash back.
Arthritis targets your body where it's weak, where it's vulnerable. Tylenol Arthritis works with your body to block the pain, without interfering with certain high blood pressure medicines, like Aleve sometimes can. So you don't just feel better. You feel better knowing doctors recommend Tylenol more than any other brand of pain reliever.
If your bike won't start, try changing the spark plug.
Hey, t'en pensais trop? Qu'est-ce que tu penses?
Go there.
Ok, on y va.
Welcome to a network where video changes everything. Cisco, welcome to the Human Network.
Nothing is more beautiful than potential. It's time to bring your ideas to life at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint store. Discover how coordinating colors and bringing your whole room together is easier than you ever imagined. You'll be amazed what happens when you ask. Ask Sherwin-Williams. Save $7 a gallon on a wide variety of exceptional paints and stains.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Each night, Evening Edition puts the day's weather in focus.
It's already produced baseball-sized hail, folks.
Locally,
north and east of the Denver area.
Regionally,
working its way southeast across the Chesapeake Bay.
Nationally.
From Los Angeles south toward the Atlantic Ocean.
Building into the northeast.
For a clear view of your world tonight and the smartest way to prepare for tomorrow.
We're going to continue to watch these storms for you and give you updates as they come along.
Spend your night with Evening Edition. Weeknights, only on the Weather Channel.
Since man first discovered the laws of mathematics, one fact has remained constant. 4 is greater than 2. That's why Becker Subaru only sells vehicles with the four-wheel competence of symmetrical all-wheel drive. For a limited time, save thousands on a new Tribeca. Own one today for just $26,799. That's the lowest guaranteed price. Don't settle for two wheels when all-wheel drive is less at Becker Subaru on Route 222 in West Coastville.
For more than 25 years, Sylvan Learning Centers in the tri-state region have been committed to helping children catch up, keep up, and get ahead in school. Sylvan is proud to continue this tradition with their Student of the Month program, which salutes students who have demonstrated exceptional academic achievement. This month's students are James Weathers from Sylvan of Deptford and Jeremiah Hicks from Sylvan of Northfield. Call 800-EDUCATE to find out more about Sylvan programs in your area.
The Weather Channel, your hurricane authority. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under fair skies. Our local Doppler radar. A mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, slight chance of a thunderstorm. Low 67. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 30%. On Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Hot, high 91. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Time now for your tropical update. It is 10 till the hour right now, and that's when we expect to get the latest information. And the bottom line is we have a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico, Tropical Storm Dolly. The center is now over the open waters of the Gulf and is expected to intensify as it moves towards the western Gulf Coast. So we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled the next 2 days as Dolly makes progress. There's Cristobal as it moves off the eastern seaboard over those warm waters of the Gulf Stream. So Cristobal has intensified, and then check out this wave coming off of the African coast. This is a very expansive wave. It's large, and we do expect to see it develop as well as conditions are favorable aloft. So we're expecting to see this strengthen. It could end up making news as a depression within the next day or so. So let's get you started on this tour with Cristobal, who made headlines over the weekend as it affected all the beachgoers who were flocking to the East Coast due to the heat. It has strengthened to 65-mile-per-hour max sustained winds right now as it makes its tour up the coastline. And the good news is, as it moves away from land, it's even less of a risk to the folks in the Northeast. So little impact, thank goodness, as far as the rest of its stay along the Northeast coastline. So for this evening, we're not concerned about the rip current so much, and it will be moving out of open cooler waters as we head into the next 24 hours. Okay, here's Dolly. Max sustained winds 50 miles per hour right now, and it's very large as it's taking up really most of the Gulf of Mexico right now. The latest stats have it moving to the west-northwest at 18 miles per hour. There's the latitude, there is the longitude. The pressure is still over 1,000 millibars at this point, but the thing is, this could have a huge impact on the Gulf since it is moving to the northwest right now. We do anticipate seeing it affect South Texas in a big way because it looks like that's going to be the portion of the storm that's the northeastern quadrant, or the forward right quadrant of the storm could affect much of South Texas. So hurricane watches in place for South Texas and northeastern Mexico, and that means we need to expect hurricane conditions within the next 36 to 48 hours. Here's the path. Remember, it is a swath for a purpose, for a reason. It's not necessarily going to make a beeline at Brownsville, and we do anticipate seeing South Texas being affected by the system since it is in that forward-facing quadrant of the storm. So you always have to add the forward motion along with the max sustained wind. So it's going to be a really interesting system to watch as we head into the next couple of days. We also have a couple of systems now off the coastline. We have our Hurricane Fausto, and we also have a very impressive new tropical depression that Dr. Steve Lyons is going to be examining coming up. In fact, he'll join us live during PM Edition with his expert analysis, complete tropical information. He'll be joining us at 5:50 p.m. on PM Edition, so don't miss him. And now don't miss Betty, because she has the latest with severe.
Oh, it's just a matter of time before things really start to get ugly along the Gulf Coast here of Texas. But as it stands right now, not too terribly active there. We've got a lot more action as we look in around the Florida Panhandle, South Georgia, southern Alabama, even into the Midlands here of South Carolina, following this line of storms dropping off toward the southeast, capable of producing hail and winds to about 60 miles an hour. Sumter County, Richland counties, just a couple of the places that have been under those severe thunderstorm warnings. So Orangeburg will look for this to come in your direction here. So may just want to go ahead and plan on staying inside here for the next 30 to 45 minutes. Because before you know it, we'll see these storms on top of you. As we mosey on down toward the low country, Charleston, we've had a cell bubble up where you are weekend, and it looks like one just off to the northwest now over Hanahan. For the most part, just some lightning and some rain coming down with that. That one's not severe. We have been following some severe storms, though, from Ohio into Kentucky. We've now got a new severe thunderstorm watch going into effect, meaning conditions favorable for severe storms. In Knoxville, Tennessee, you're in that one, and already you've got those storms right around you. As we check in here, coming across this border here, tracking these storms drop toward the southeast here. Heavy downpours capable of seeing some nickel to penny-sized hail into these areas as well, not to mention winds gusting to about 60 miles an hour. Not so bad around Detroit, although those storms off on your northwest side, certainly not a pretty sight, but not necessarily severe. There are your storms coming in around Binghamton, New York, and the forecast for later tonight reveals we'll continue to see more of this action firing in some of those same areas.
Well, Adam Berg, Vivian Brown up next, keeping you covered.
We'll see you later.
My name is Tiffany, and it's day one of my Crest Pro Health research. Does it really work?
Get the right protection at night with Crest Pro Health toothpaste.
Morning, everyone. Listen, that's squeaky clean.
Crest Pro Health.